NBA fans are bracing for impact because it looks like Caitlin Clark might have gotten injured again, and she has missed nearly half the games this season with a quad injury and then with a groin injury. Here's the play where it happened. She's dribbling down, she pushes off, she makes this pass to Kelsey Mitchell on the back door, and then you can see when she's running back to the other end of the court, she's grabbing her right groin. You could see it on her face right after that play, like something went.
The Indiana Fever wrapped up their road trip with a hard-fought 85-77 win over the Connecticut Sun at TD Garden, but the victory came at a steep and potentially season-altering cost. With just 40 seconds remaining, Caitlin Clark re-aggravated her groin injury after enduring a game's worth of relentless physical punishment, much of it uncalled by officials. It was a brutal reminder of how the league's brightest star continues to face unchecked aggression threatening not just her health, but the momentum the WNBA has worked so hard to build around her.
Stephanie White, congratulations. Amber Cox, way to go. Kelly Krauskopf, you did it, girl. You really did it. Way to rush Caitlin Clark back from injury time after time after time after time. To the point where she's tearing and crying on the court because she felt something in her groin. You three ladies couldn't manage a kid's lemonade.
This wasn't just another minor setback, it was the painful consequence of a league that has consistently failed to protect its most valuable asset. Caitlin Clark, already sidelined for 9 games this season with multiple injuries, was once again left vulnerable. After delivering what should have been a routine assist to Kelsey Mitchell, she immediately clutched her right groin and limped off the court, clearly in distress. The image of the WNBA's biggest star sitting on the bench, head buried in a towel, tears streaming down her face, wasn't just heartbreaking, it was a moment that should shake the foundation of the league. This is no longer about one injury. It's about accountability.
This is potentially a disaster for the city of Indianapolis, the Indiana Fever. They're hosting the All-Star game. We just found out Caitlin Clark was going to be in the three-point contest, and this is her right here. You can see her. Let me turn this down. She's grabbing that groin, folks. She's grabbing the groin area. She's going to walk over. She knows she's injured, and it looked bad, folks. She was on the bench, had her head wrapped in a towel. She's crying. She's in.
The breaking point came when Fever head coach Stephanie White was forced to call a timeout, not to draw up a play, but to demand protection for her star player. It wasn't strategy. It was a cry for sanity. Connecticut defenders had turned the game into a wrestling match targeting Caitlin Clark with unchecked physicality. The timeout was a desperate attempt to stop the madness, as officials continued to ignore the escalating abuse. What was supposed to be basketball had devolved into organized chaos, and Clark was the one paying the price.
And whether it was pain or frustration or a combination of both, you could see it weighing on her. Now, she had snapped at a referee earlier. She had held her head down in the midst of her shooting slump. So maybe some of this is just all of that coming to a head, especially knowing that All-Star Weekend is coming up from Indianapolis.
I think it was pretty clear tensions were rising, White had said after previous games with similar incidents. When officials fail to manage the game properly and allow that level of physicality, especially when it's been happening all season, you're going to see things boil over. These are competitive women at the highest level. If they're allowed to play aggressively, they will. They're going to go hard, and they're going to stand up for their teammates.
So on the road this season, Caitlin Clark is a combined 1 for 32 from three-point range. Very unusual. She's hot. Breon January having to hold her back. We'll take a timeout.
I mean, yo, she went from 0 to 100 real quick. She was upset, dog. I don't know what that ref said. I don't know what happened, but yeah, she was basically just saying that has nothing to do with it. So I don't know what they were discussing, but yeah, she was basically pissed about the entire situation, man.
But this time, White's timeout came too late. The damage had already been done. For 4 quarters, the officials allowed Connecticut defenders to hand-check, grab, and rough up Clark with zero accountability. She wasn't just guarded, she was manhandled. Every screen felt like a collision course. Every drive to the basket was met with contact so excessive it would drawn flagrant fouls in any other era. The message was loud and clear. In today's WNBA, even the league's brightest star isn't guaranteed protection.
Is the refs, dog. Like, the refs are terrible. Y'all play a part in these injuries. Y'all play a part in all of these injuries. Y'all don't call nothing. Y'all don't call nothing, bro. Like, what are we talking about? You, like, all of y'all should be fired. Just don't do your jobs at all. You guys are trash. Trash, man. You got people getting hurt left and right. Look at this trash. We got people getting elbowed in the face. Body check. Look at this. Sophie Cunningham dropped. She just gets body checked out of bounds. No calls. None.
But by then, White's timeout came too late. The damage had already been done. For 4 quarters, the official stood by as Connecticut defenders hand-checked, grabbed, and battered Clark without consequence. She wasn't defended, she was assaulted. Every screen felt like a blindside hit. Every drive to the basket turned into a gamble with her health. In any other era, these would have been flagrant fouls. But in today's WNBA, even the league's most valuable star isn't promised protection. And that message rang out loud and clear.
Somebody who's never gotten injured ever in their career. Here comes all these, we got a new coaching staff, we got a new training staff, we got this person and that person, an expert here and an expert there, saying this, saying that. Next thing you know, these people have managed to turn Caitlin Clark into a player who now gets injured. What the hell did you guys do with Caitlin?
This isn't bad luck, it's the predictable outcome of a star forced to survive instead of shine. Caitlin Clark can't find her rhythm because she's spending more time rehabbing injuries than actually playing basketball. She's only been available for 59.1% of the Fever's games this season, missing 9 contests due to a left quad strain, a left groin injury, and now a setback with her right groin. The numbers tell the story of a player under siege. Since returning from her last injury, Clark has shot 33.3% or worse in each of her last 4 games. The deep threes that made her a phenomenon, they're missing not because she forgot how to shoot, but because she is playing through pain with restricted movement and against defenders who know the refs won't step in.
Are turning into another injury, and it's an overcompensation injury, and she's trying to play through it because she's got the weight of WNBA on her shoulders. All of this stuff. I think all of these things are factors. I think all of this is a factor for what's happening. I think all of this is a factor of why she's playing. I think she's trying to carry this league on her shoulders. And the refs are letting them beat the crap out of her. That doesn't help things. It doesn't help things when the referees are absolutely letting teams beat the crap out of her. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Other teams are allowing, other teams are beating the crap out of her, and the referees are.
Other teams aren't just defending Caitlin Clark, they're beating the hell out of her. And the referees are letting it happen. 4 months fans and analysts have voiced their frustration. But now even ESPN's broadcast crew couldn't stay silent. During a recent game, commentators Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Ruocco were literally forced to count missed fouls in real time. There's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them, Lobo said as Clark was mauled on a single possession. The hypocrisy is jaw-dropping. Clark gets hit with technical fouls for showing the slightest emotion after being fouled, while her opponents can shove, grab, and even throw punches without consequence. Marina Mabrey once shoved Clark to the floor in plain view, and officials downgraded it to a common technical rather than issuing the ejection it deserved. After her latest injury, Clark's brother Collins captured the frustration perfectly. Make no mistake, this is on the reffing. Her family has watched her get targeted game after game, while officials continue to turn a blind eye to the kind of physical abuse that would end careers in any other sport.
Caitlin Clark's brother, Colin just said this. Make no mistake, this is on the refereeing. This is Colin Clark, Caitlin Clark brother. This is Caitlin Clark brother right here. Colin Clark.
The league's failure to protect Caitlin Clark isn't just a moral failure, it's a financial disaster. When Clark misses games, WNBA viewership plummets by 55%, with average audiences dropping from 1.81 million to just 847,000. Her return game against the Liberty earlier this season drew 2.2 million viewers, making it the 3rd most watched WNBA broadcast of all time. Now, with Clark potentially sidelined for the All-Star game in Indianapolis, the very event she was meant to headline as team captain, the WNBA is staring down a public relations crisis. This year's All-Star weekend was built around Clark's star power, with a three-point contest and skills challenge set for July 18th to 19th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. If she can't participate, the league stands to lose millions in revenue and credibility. Tickets sold out within 7 hours, and the reason was clear. Fans wanted to see Clark light up her home court. Without her, the All-Star Game becomes just another exhibition, and one most casual viewers won't even bother to watch.
Biggest concern is obviously her health. And I got to tell you, I can't see her playing tomorrow. I cannot imagine her doing the three-point contest or being in the All-Star Game now. All right, which is brutal. I was so fired up to see it. But she needs to sit, folks. She needs to sit. This is the power of Caitlin Clark right here. This is the crowd prior to the game. These are all Fever fans going into a road arena in Boston. Look at that.
This isn't the first time Caitlin Clark has been injured because officials failed to do their job, and it won't be the last unless the league takes real action. Earlier this season, she missed 5 games with a left quad strain after enduring unchecked physical play from the New York Liberty. Not long after, she sat out another stretch with a left groin injury, once again the result of defenders being allowed to hack grab ND harass her with no repercussions. The pattern couldn't be clearer. Clark gets targeted. Referees swallow the whistle. She plays through pain until her body gives out. Then she misses multiple games. ND, the league suffers a drop in both viewership and credibility. It's a vicious cycle that's not only damaging Clark's career, but actively stunting the WNBA's growth. Even her All-Star Game opponent Paige Buchers has spoken out. The pressure she's under every single night to perform at the level she does. T.S. Inhumane Ukers said, "To expect someone to be perfect every game, to never have an off night, and to take that kind of physical punishment, it's not right."
How about ESPN? Like, do they have trolls for their producers? Like, they always kept throwing shade at Caitlin Clark, throwing up, oh, how many, like, yo, this girl's coming off an injury. She's coming off an injury. Like, there's no point of keep showing the graphic. Oh, the last time she made a 3, it was so unnecessary. To me, it's kind of like bullying at this point. They're a joke, bro, because they don't do that with Angel recently, and her shots are not falling. Like, she's below 40%. Do they ever show that? No, they don't do that. They don't do that with any other player, but they do it with Caitlin Clark. I hate that, man. Pam Ward, she's an old hat.
Her shooting numbers have taken a sharp hit as she's been forced to play through injuries and relentless physical abuse. Her three-point percentage has dropped to just 28.9% this season, AR below her usual standards. But the real cost, ISN measured in stats. It's in the message being sent to young players, fans, and future investors. When a league allows its biggest star, the WNBA, failure to protect Caitlin Clark is sending shockwaves through the entire league. To be battered without consequence, it exposes a lack of professionalism and a disregard for player safety that threatens the WNBA's long-term credibility. Clark's latest injury against Connecticut wasn't a freak accident. It was the inevitable result of months of officiating incompetence. Game after game, he's been hacked, rabbed, and slammed with no whistles. Even broadcasters have had enough. Commentators are now openly calling out missed fouls in real time, with ESPN's crew recently highlighting a sequence where Clark was fouled multiple times in a single possession without a single call. The evidence is undeniable, and the consequences are growing by the day.
Things that we were looking forward to this weekend in the W have just gotten jeopardized because of this Caitlin Clark groin injury. And I can honestly say this. I don't believe that the Indiana Fever are doing a hell of a job at protecting their greatest asset, because if it were me doing this and I was in charge of this team, I would take the Jerry Krause approach that he took with Michael Jordan after he broke his leg. Now, granted, Caitlin Clark's injuries have not been as severe as Michael Jordan's were back in the 80s, but hear me out on this. The minute that Michael Jordan got hurt, Jerry Krause held his ass out as long as he could. It wasn't because of any draft pick. It's because you're trying to protect your greatest asset, because you know without that great asset, you're going to lose your job and the team doesn't have a chance to